It's a bit rough. She's very aware of this. It's okay. Processes are never meant to be smooth. Those are products of a certain kind. So it's a really, I like the film because it offers, it gives you some glimpses into a process.
No waiting, watching, no chopping, crushing, no tasting. So what do you do with these hands?
Already we are entering cinema, film, image. It's just very difficult now to, compartmentalize creativity in this time. Okay, I'd like to take a moment of silence and think of your thoughts a little bit. So before we meet Maya, and you will be talking to her directly, I'll make a few opening remarks. What struck you about this thing that you saw? What are some of the sort of key words or key concepts anything that comes to mind? It doesn't have to be clarified. It's just to share something spontaneously. It could be a word, a feeling, or a reaction.
For me, it was time. Today was the time that was accumulated from 2006, and how different markers add your different markers of experience that is added to that time basically. And how much of a weight that time, the weightiness of
the weight of time.
Yeah.
The starkness of the truth.
Starkness of the truth. Yeah. She is a bit like that. She goes to the point. That opens up a very personal thing sometimes with her mother. But not to wallow in it, but to think, about, what that sari meant. The sari became a production of Ramanama. She took a sari and she said, that's my mother's pink Kanchivaram sari, and I'm cutting it up. You can read all kinds of things in that.
For me, I think it's a category, I would say, called intimate, which is, one can think about it in terms of a perspective.
Yeah.
Looking at things or one's own body from a very, how can I say, very close distance.
Yeah.
And something which also generates a different kind of an affect, and also looking at an object that way, like the sari, or we began with that scene where in projection we are seeing that object, the house in a close up. And so this is sort of like this detail,
Yeah.
which then I think reconstructs the way we feel about things,
Right.
we feel about body, the way we look at
Yeah.
them.
So it's a very intimate contact with, in theatrical language, you could say a prop, but it's more than a prop. The little doll that she begins with, which is of the construction worker. And, for us, if you go to Stanislavski and all that, you could spend months with that one prop. You can, but that's not her process in that sense. But that doll is still with her, that it's not a doll anymore. It's part of her, and character and part of her being and part of her life, part of time.
And history.
History.
Sort of the vision of history that this gives.
Yeah, the construction, the little things that I'm sure as many of us who live in India, the car, smashing into a jewelry is a very common thing, how many people die because some rich drunken person has lost control and just kills people who are lying on the pavement. It's very common, So she's dealing with that public reality as well, but in a very intimate, as you're saying.
And that generates, I feel, generates a kind of an affect. So
Yes, it's an affective, yeah.
Yeah, and also connected to what you just said, I think it's objects and bodies as objects and objects as bodies.
Yes.
All of these layers getting
Yes.
intertwined somehow.
Yeah. Yes. That object is a body,
because its texture, its
Yeah.
shape, all of it, like a barbed wire when it's
Yeah.
twisted.
Or hair.
And,
and you begin to realize that the hair then takes on, it becomes all kinds of things. The hair becomes like, it looks strange, it looks cosmic at times. There's like a big hole there, there's a black hole in the middle, and that kind of stuff. So she trips. There's an associative quality in her thinking.
And also, I'm sorry, I'm sure it's a put the words together. It's all, I really, the balance she strikes between documentary and
Yes.
affect. It's not, it's a very, very
Yes.
careful balance that she
Yes,
does.
that's well put, because, I was trying to, when I was trying to figure this, I wanted this to be the opening beat, so I was thinking of devising, because that technically, for those of you who may know Maya, Maya got rid of the director about 30 years ago. She just was doing a play and then she said, I think I'll do it myself. And then, but she does have a director, and that's the camera. The camera is always
the
with
edit.
her. And the edit is very,
And-
very good.
Everything within the film itself, in the sense that there's this part where she's performing with the doll and everything, and it's being simultaneously projected onto a big screen.
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice.
Yeah. So that camera, she's aware of that. She needs that. Many people say, why do you need a director? Because the director, they say, is the outer eye and all that stuff. But can there be another set of eyes, that you are more in dialogue with? That's been it's a radical intervention in Indian theatre, I have to tell you. This, no one did this. She did it. She's a pioneer in this, and we have to give it to her, because she will, of course, always contradict. So if I had to say this, she said, no, I like working with so many collaborators. She does. But I think the process is a very personal, very reflexive, like she becomes her own camera. And you're right, she watches hours and hours of improv, what we call improv, and she's going to talk about that today. So let's throw out that, some of the questions that I'm sure she's sparking out with. She always likes to cancel whatever she's done earlier. She was very unhappy, why are you showing the film? And I'll show another film. I said, no, you will not show another film, you show this film, And she's like that. And anything else that comes to mind?
I think just taking from where it started and how we share our opinions. First of all, I should start with that of the parents, and that time I was so overwhelmed, I didn't know how to respond to that critically. I can't look at it from the distance as an audience. And but at the same time, I think from the personal, taking up personal objects and putting it to talk about a politics that I am very strongly believing in. At the same time, making it so universal is the magic, honestly. So that she should talk about it.
Yeah, she's a tough one. Yeah, but
It's
she
so
is
personal at
very
times, it's
personal.
very...
Yeah, it is very personal. It is very effective, and yeah. But you know, she has a very strong mind. You know, this is Maya's real strength. I mean, her ability to
No,
think
there
is.
lies the contradiction. It's very personal at the same time it's very objective.
Yeah.
So that's how it's
She keeps that balance.
She also is there the structure in terms of how she reaches from the personal. Like she says that this sorry. So I was thinking about it. How and then she goes to that protest. See, and
That
how much
massive-
modest protests and
That is an excellent moment. I mean,
Yeah.
the map of India,
Yes.
the map of India with the sun.
and where this journey also happens. From
and
this
with the
person.
own, but she is creating another kind of map
Yes.
and lines.
Yeah, play, a kind of a map is playing, or a, yeah, I mean, she does wear so many hats, you know, and we can talk a little when we talk, because she's a comic, you know, she's one of the stand-up comic, she does a kind of cabaret, sometimes bordering on very, very unsettling kinds of things. She's got humor of a very certain kind. She does, of course, agitprop theatre. She was in Shaheen Bagh, and this is what is going on here. And so that takes guts. I mean, I really think she has guts in that sense, that very few performers, I mean, there have been many political theatre activists who have done street plays and they've just gone on. They say there's a murder that's taking place, that has taken place, come on, do something. They have done it. The history of Bengali theatre has many such examples, you know. But they're more structured. They're more like there's a script of sorts, or there's a content. If you think about Bulgar's plays, and you know, he'd come and read something out to you. But this is, I don't know, it's a different kind of agitprop. I would say it's a very, very, and she risks it. And I think I want to make this one point that she's not afraid to fail. This is an important thing. We're so afraid of failing all the time, aren't we?
Yes.
You know, like, my God, I don't know, what will people think of me if I say this, or if I do this? She's not afraid. Not afraid of that. And indeed, you know, she has received cruel comments on some things don't work. They really don't work. I personally think the hand and feet just went on too long, maybe, but that's her process. She, you know, so in that sense, you're right, because we can't critique it. It's because there's a different kind of objective.
And it's also, yes.
Please carry on.
I was just saying that it's also fascinating how she brings so many registers of the body, like the migrant body, the artistic body, the laboring body, the sick body.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. The different bodies.
Yeah, I mean,
The instrument in the true
Yeah, right.
sense, and any association with the instrument is kind of molded and put into the performance through the time. And while watching this, I was just writing, because I was feeling a lot of things.
Yeah.
I wrote that I guess I want to live in my time while I was watching it. But then I also added in live, that living also has many definitions. It
Yeah.
also means being alive, it also
Yeah.
means responding, it also means moving. And time is also not like, my time has multiple times, and it
Yes.
also comes from a
Yeah.
time and goes to a time. So it's like, it's
Yeah.
really fluid in that sense,
It's
what
very
she's
fluid.
proposing.
It's very fluid. It's fluid is a
Yeah.
good word. It's fluid. It's just, and that's her structure. It's fluid
My
structure.
feeling is a little bit
Yeah.
as a dramatist, there is some sort of insecurity that what will be the destiny of my writing.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the play is something like a sketch on a
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
And the director's job is to put the color, and he or she is the person who choose a texture. So the way she has taken the texture, taken the color, she has done the best judge for the screenplay.
Yeah. You see, there is no separation on Iman. When we work in art, the way most people, there's a director, there's an actor, there's etc. There's a light man. She's all that combined. She's very, I can assure you, she is. She's not a control freak, but she made that. But she plays a very active role in that alchemy. You know when you say alchemy, when everything comes to, in a sense, mixes, becomes fluid, you know. And I think a lot of our problem in theatre, I think in developed theatre economies, very often, it's very segregated. So this was my problem at Yale. I was a dramaturg, so I couldn't be a director, I couldn't be a designer, I couldn't be an actor. I was all these things before I went there. And then I became, a little apprehensive or scared. I said, I maybe I'm not an actor, maybe I'm not that. And this breaks those divisions, I'm sure in the cinema world also that is the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Segregation
Yes,
and
yes.
specialization.
Yes. It's not the best thing.
Yeah. And she brings it all kind of together. What did you feel, Surat?
The play with the hands.
Yeah.
The kind of tension she's creating.
Okay. You were drawn to that? That's play with the hands? You felt something was going on
Yeah,
there?
and in the last scene also the hands are burning.
Okay, on the stove. I thought that was interesting. The stove when you're talking about, and the karai. And then the hand comes. Interesting, intriguing.
That's very intense.
It is tense. It is tense.
And
Whenever you.
when your feet comes with
Yeah.
the hands,
Yeah,
it's like
that's scary. Is it burning or what is going on there? And it's very intimate. She said things are easier now. I mean, that's what she's saying. So it's like I'm going back to cooking. I can make my khichdi or whatever. I can eat my normal food. I'm no longer, needing for breath. And so this was done during COVID. I mean, that's the other thing that she made the film, and then, if I'm not also mistaken, she lost her mother during this time. Yeah, so it's, but she doesn't talk about that. That's the other side of her. Like most people, if you lost your mother, my God, you'll be overwhelmed with grief, and you talk about mother and mother and mother and nothing else. But mother is there through sari. Mother is there through, I love that thing. She wore 3 saris. And if you think Maya was out of the book, you should have met the mother. I mean, the mother was really one cracker, as we say. She was so amazing, full of life. So I don't want to talk too much because we have to save our questions, for Maya. So what's the time? It's like, let's go down for coffee and come back exactly in 15 minutes.